Dan, all the way down. You took a tumble, brother.
Are you okay?
How's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear. Can you hear us?
Yep, for sure.
Okay. Hopefully our window hanger holds my phone and we don't have a broken phone at the end of this conversation.
I would hope not.
No, yeah. Maybe I'm gonna just do a suction cup clean and clean the window and the glass. And hopefully she sticks, man.
For sure.
All right. Bro,
yes.
Welcome. Thank you for letting us chat with you.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
You got a pretty diverse profile, man.
Yeah, that's what people tell me.
Yeah, I like that. So are you at U of T right now?
Yeah, I'm actually at the Sick Kids building right now. I didn't have time to make it home before the interview.
Well, thanks for coming on in the middle of your busy day.
Yeah, no, for sure. Happy to be here.
You're a master's student in biochem?
Yeah. Currently in my first year, so just started here at U of T. I actually just graduated from a master's degree at Western, but technicality, I had to start in a master's here to be able to transfer into a PhD eventually. So that's the plan.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what's your work with Scene Daddy? What are you doing there?
So about a year ago, they invited me, or I applied to be a writer there. And then they were going through some rearrangements in their management team, and I was contributing quite a bit to just the overall team, and they invited me to be the managing editor. So that is my role currently there. I also run the promotions department, which has been cool because you get to meet a lot of up-and-coming bands, which has probably been the best part.
Right on. You've been again the aspiration, the drive that you showed wanting to work there kind of ultimately showed and impressed them, and ultimately, like you said, ended up leading to you getting that position.
Yeah, exactly. The guy who runs the company, Robbie, he moved in as the managing editor when I joined, and he said, "I'm looking for one of you guys to kind of take over whoever shows the initiative." And I ended up publishing half the content on the site, and he's like, "Hey, it's yours." So
nice.
Yeah.
I gotta know how have you managed to have two plates in your hand, one with biochemistry and one with the Scene Daddy? How did this come to be?
I was looking for just a way to kind of get involved in the music industry because I've been looking for an outlet to write about stuff. And right now it just comes down to good planning and having a good team. So I can get in pretty early in the morning, schedule my articles for the day, distribute articles for okay, you write this, and then I just do my time in the lab for the day and then check in afterwards. And it seems to work pretty smooth so far.
Right on. So what what you were saying your duties at Scene Daddy kind of involved doing? You said article writing and reviewing. What is a more in-depth overview of the things that you do with Scene Daddy at Scene Daddy, I should say.
And can you just briefly touch on what Scene? Is it a label? Is it just a place to go to be up on the news for stuff? Is it a combination? What is it?
Yeah, we get that a lot. So it just started as a general meme page. The guy who runs the company is also in the band, and in a band, and he was just looking for something to do. And now we've started to transition more into doing news, reviews, just making it a real media company as opposed to just a meme site where you go to get your laughs. Which he was kind of worried that people weren't going to take to it, but it's been pretty good so far. Been able to expand and improve the website and everything, so that's been good. In terms of my roles. Like I said, I started as a staff writer, so I just write blog articles, reviews, general news that I come across that I want to write about. But I've more so been moving into the management role, more distributing those writing pieces to the rest of the team. So I brought on 5 or 6 other people to do most of that. And I just focus on editing and publishing.
Right on. So you're very involved with kind of seeing everything that ends up going on the site and getting a full overview of everything, really.
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of control what goes out in terms of news or press, and then I'm also involved in the promos team. So being able to schedule when promotions go out versus news has been good for me to do that too. What
have this I guess I want to frame my question properly because I'm always trying to think on the top of my head as I'm framing it, and I always get to jumble my words.
Okay.
In in the whole idea of making this whole positive impact on the community of the music scene, where you guys have been at it, you said for you got into it about a year ago, I believe you
Yep.
said.
Yep.
And how long was it? How long were they active before you got involved?
I want to say it was about a year and a half before I jumped in.
Oh, right on.
So they had already started putting some news together, but I think it was when I joined the team and we really honed in and built the rest of the team that we were able to improve the website and make that like a central focus as opposed to just something they did for fun.
Sick. Okay. And then I guess with that being built and everything, how are you working with the music community, and how can we, as as a community, work with you in partnerships or even independently to kind of work forward to make this the community? Like, do you have any ideas, or is there any things that we can work together to try and spread a message on how to make that community kind of more inclusive and I want to say opening up the opportunities?
Sure. I mean, we are constantly getting like promotion requests or partnership requests, and we're happy to cover pretty much anything as long as it sounds decent and is reasonable. So we try to do as much as possible and facilitate a discussion about music, or we do promotions for like clothing brands or what have you in the general
Nice.
scene. So yeah, just trying to be as inclusive as possible. So we're pretty open to anybody reaching out to us really through socials, website, whatever it is.
And
man.
right on.
What kind of things, as the lead editor, this is intriguing to me. What kind of things do you find are resonant most with the industry these days? Like, where are you getting the most hits in terms of, oh, this is the kind of content that I think will blow up?
Yeah, a lot of our like tour announcements do well, like when we do news pieces for just random tour announcements. But some of the stuff that does the best is, I mean, they started as a meme page. So a lot of the blogs that do well are the ones that are kind of like memey about like scene trends and stuff like that. So we try to throw in a couple of those, trying to balance out the more serious pieces. Some of the stuff that I've been really wanting to do is the bigger interview pieces. So we've been able to get bands like Polaris and Amity Affliction and August Burns Red and some of those bigger bands. And it's just been like kind of cool for us to do as a team. And I just hope that that takes off a bit more too.
Absolutely, man. That's really cool being able to those bands just that you named there, having announcements of just like doing interviews with them. That's definitely click. I wouldn't even say clickbait. That's click driven material right there. People want to read that.
Yeah.
People want to hear this. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I guess, do you have any with this whole COVID thing? Obviously, has it affected you guys as much as it has affected other people? I said other industries that are, because you guys do a lot of the online content versus in person, or how has the COVID times affected you guys?
So yeah, our like general, I guess, model hasn't been affected all that much aside from, bands aren't putting out that many announcements, so it's hard to find news and stuff to kind of cover. But we've been
True.
trying to just supplement with, funny blogs and stuff like that, trying to do as much as we can. But I mean, the only thing that we've really been impacted is we were supposed to be able to go down to New York to have exclusive press for I Matter Fest in New York.
Yeah.
Which obviously got shut down, so we kind of lost out on that opportunity, but hopefully that'll come back next year.
Yeah. Once the borders open up, once countries get the situations controlled and make it more safe for you guys to be able to go there and do that, we'll get that. No, that's not gone. It's just post-dated. It's gonna come back.
Exactly, yeah. We weren't doing a whole lot of like in-person stuff to begin with, so it might have just delayed that transition into something like that, but hasn't really shut it down.
That's awesome. Do you guys have? Are you guys trying to do any? I wouldn't even say trying to do, but are you guys planning any big things or have any big things planned for the rest of the year, or like post-dated any kind of? Not trying to get like secrets, but like anything that you guys are all working together, at Scene Daddy to kind of change things later this year, or to kind of jazz the scene with some insiders. Is it all really like current information? That's what sells.
Yeah, right. I mean, we have the opportunity, like I said, hopefully the opportunity comes back to be able to go do press for that festival, because I think that's the next big thing that we really want to get into is the more live stuff. So even when I'm reaching out to like PR people, I'm constantly like, hey, can we get like we do concert photography and stuff like that, but I'd like to be able to do on the road interviews and things like that too. So I think that's the next logical progression for us, and then getting into kind of the YouTube department, posting those like live form kind of interviews. So I think that's our next step that we really want to work on while we have kind of a time off with COVID and everything. So hopefully we'll get that soon within the next year or so. Yeah.
How have you, like, you mentioned being in promotions and in editing, and in the last year and a bit, how have you really built Scene Daddy's audience, and what's the timing of news articles versus promotional materials to build an audience for you?
Yeah. I mean, the audience is always steadily growing, like on Instagram and Facebook, we're always continuing to grow, which is nice to see. We try to balance out.
Because of the memes?
Yeah, the memes bring in most of like our viewership. I mean, if you compare just likes on a post, it's like thousands on a meme versus, you know, a couple hundred on a good news article, which is fine. Started out as a meme page, but
not a lot of readers these days.
Yeah, I would like to get that flipped a bit more as much as possible, seeing as that's my job. But yeah, we typically post news around either 10, 1, or 5 p.m. And then I'll just schedule promotions in whenever works best for the band. So I typically will ask them what's the best time for you, or if they need a specific time, say to coincide with an announcement or something, I'll try to reschedule things in terms of posting.
Right on. So you guys kind of have that the set times where things go up, and that kind of ends up helping. Have you guys gone done like evaluations and saw that those were the best times? Those were the times that had the post hit the most likes, kind of traction.
Essentially, yeah. When we first we just started doing it, I want to say 5 months or so ago. We got the scheduled times, and it's been working pretty well. We might play with the timing later. But we'll see.
Kind of adjusted as it goes, as everything everything always goes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can post a meme whenever, and it typically does well. So it's just finding when the news does the best.
True.
I'm curious on a personal level, what's your end game with the biochem?
Honestly, I haven't thought about it too much. I mean, with a PhD, I still have another 4 or 5 years to figure it out. But I kind of always saw myself going the industry route, so working for like a pharmaceutical company or something along those lines. There is the opportunity to go like the academia route and, you know, do the professorship and stuff, but that takes a lot longer. You typically have to do another 2 or 3 years of a postdoc, and it's just a whole lot of time. So we'll see in 4 years.
We'll see how the 4 years develop the future mind. You know what? That extra 2 sounds pretty freaking sweet at the end of it, maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see.
exactly.
We'll see.
What's the long-term goal for Scene Daddy? What are you guys working on as a team there?
Like I said, the next big thing is to move into like the live stuff. I was discussing with Robbie not that long ago, and he says, you know, he's not quite sure where he wants to take it in the next 5 years or so. I think it would be cool to get into something like a label or doing more hardcore promotions, but that I think is a much more far out. So we'll see if we get to that stage or not.
Yeah, like sort of if you had a scene already generated where eyes are on a lot of your bands or a lot of the bands being focused on through your site and through your media and through your memes, I think representing your own it's so close to already being done. Like your audience almost wouldn't even have to be told, hey, this is one of our bands. It could just be one of your bands, and you're just, you know, posting a little, maybe a 5-to-3 ratio of your band versus bands. Do you know what I mean? And you're still giving all the publicity out of house, but you're still giving publicity in house, and then people want to get in because they're out. And, you know, I think that makes a lot of sense.
I think it's the perfect model to move into. I mean, even when we started the interview and you asked, is it a label? I'm like, not technically, but it could be.
It's close. It's pretty close to a label. Close, like I was looking at a website, and it's already set up in terms of a lot of the labels, you know, that I'm looking at it familiar with, you have a lot of similarities on the website as far as, oh, here's our content and here's stuff that we think you might like and here's similar stuff that we also think you might like in memes and, articles and tour releases. It's literally like you're doing the job
Exactly.
of the marketing of the label.
We tried to
nailing the
do
hell
as
out
much
of
as
one part.
possible. Yeah.
Then you're getting like expanding it, and then just a couple more, and then boom, you got the label.
Who else is on the team? Who else is on your team?
And how big is the team?
So right now we have about 6 writers on staff. I mean, I can name them for you, but I mean, you could just go on our team page and find them all. They tend to have all their own specific focuses. I brought in 2 people specifically to be like the assistant managing editors. One is really good at reviews, and the other one is just like able to cover a whole lot of different material. So she's a really great writer, so I brought her into the assistant position. And then we have one girl, Raquel, who's our managing photographer, and she manages all of the photographers on staff. There's quite a few. I want to say there's like 10 to 20. And then Robbie is like the main, I guess he covers both Raquel and I. And then there's a couple people on the main team too. So yeah, we're kind of diverse.
So what would, well, I mean, I wasn't gonna ask super in depth, but now you throw out the label, the meme team. I gotta know what does the meme team involve? Are they constantly looking for industry related memes that are fun? Like what kind of, is that a duck hunt game? Where do I sign up for that?
Yeah, it's 3 people right now, and they just like scavenge the internet for any scene related memes, and they're pretty funny people, so they come up with their own stuff all the time and then just post it, and seems to do pretty well. So
that's so cool. That's I mean, nobody tells you about that job when you're going to school, but that's the job you get, and it's just like, all right,
yeah, right?
I made it. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to be involved in. I've done a few just to like dabble in it, but I'm not as funny as they are, so I let them handle it, and I just do the editing.
I do the approvals, but you guys do the finding.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys can make me laugh. If I laugh, it's on the page. That's it.
Exactly.
Make me laugh. It's going on. All right. You got it?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right, man. Well, we've asked the questions. You've supplied the answers.
I have more. He's quitting early.
Okay.
He's quitting early.
I'm out of questions. I'm like doing like I got nothing else.
Anything short term to promote for Scene Daddy? Like, where can people catch up to you? Why do people are you serving the world at large? Like, would somebody come to you for a service? Do you have anything that they can go to you that you can offer them? Like, how can we help you? I
mean, you can find Scene Daddy on all like social media at Scene Daddy, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, our website, scenedaddy.com. We do all kinds of promotions. So if you're looking to promote music, scene related clothing, anything in that genre, really, we have a lot of package options between like a simple story share to actually making your brand into a meme or posting your stuff on our website. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you can find on there.
Right on. And you said you guys are on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, and then you also have the website. What is the website? Just
scenedaddy.com. Pretty easy to remember.
That's what I was hoping it was going to be, but I didn't want to throw it out there and be like, no, that's not it. End up on the dominatrix website, like, oh no.
I know you're good.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, I mean, in regards to that, you guys got to be pretty hyped in that we're into stage 3 and things are the bike pedals are starting to turn, starting to kind of get back into the promotions and the concerts and performances and things.
Yeah, I mean, more than ever, I want to go to a concert so bad. I've had like 8 shows canceled since COVID started. And it's just, it hurts so bad on like a personal level. But for Scene Daddy, I can't wait for bands to get back out there so we have, more content and to get back into the concert photography and everything. So it's just a whole wealth of content we've kind of been missing out on, but hopefully soon.
And that's the big thing too with even I guess in regards to music and then sports as well. It's everything halts at the same time. We got nothing. Now we're going back and watching 2004 Jimi Hendrix shows and Super Bowl from '96. Like this is why we recorded these moments. But
yeah,
Have you seen in your editing career, year and a bit, any common threads of bands that are like popping or kind of like building? Have you been like, oh, like I've seen a few bands doing that and it's really working, it's really getting the attention. Have you seen anything like that?
The biggest one for our audience is Ice Nine Kills, for sure. Are you guys familiar with them?
I'm not.
I don't know.
Hit
No.
me. Tell me.
Oh, wow. Okay, they're basically a horror-themed metalcore band, and our audience just goes nuts over them. They put out an album in 2018, The Silver Scream, and it's so unique. Like, each song is based on a different horror movie, and I personally loved it. I saw them in concert last year with Fit for a King, and the live show is ridiculous, and they've just been popping off on like our socials. And then the other big one is Motionless in White, but they've been around forever.
And so Ice Nine Kills, you think it's the theme of the horror, or do you think it's something they're doing to engage, or both, or a combination? Or
It's really good music mixed with, well, what do you call it? Like what Slipknot has, like a wow factor. Like they have something to define them. You know what I mean? Like a star factor.
Okay.
Like with our audience, you say Ice Nine Kills, everybody knows what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
If you're
Sounds
into
interesting.
metalcore, it's the go-to for sure.
I'll listen to it, man. I really will.
It's like, GWAR, those guys
Oh,
sell
yeah.
the performance with, costumes, and the music's pretty awesome too. So, if they sell it, I'm gonna like it.
Exactly. I mean, Slipknot, they came onto the scene with the mask. Everybody knew them. Whether you like the music or not, you know who they are, right? So
You know the
Same kind of thing.
large group of men on stage with terrifying masks playing objects.
exactly.
It is pretty terrifying. And then in terms of your productivity, are you musical? Are you like an artist?
No, honestly, not really. Like I dabbled with playing guitar and drums when I was a kid, but I never really stuck to one thing. I've just always been a consumer. I've just been super passionate about music, and like I said, I was looking for an outlet to, voice my creative view on the scene. And
I think
this
it gives
just
you
kind
an
of worked out.
advantage, actually. I think it gives you an advantage. A lot of times, like, if you're an artist and if I'm a musician, right? So when I'm writing a song, I can get so caught up over if a chord is a regular chord or a chord with a slight, a change. And the average person doesn't give a shit. They just don't care.
Right.
Like, they just don't care at all, but from your point of view, it's kind of like the quote unquote, like, layman's point of view, where you have the same reading or the same looking eyes as the audience, and it might actually help you as an editor rather than hinder you. I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
But as an editor, okay, I'm gonna frame this question different, because usually I ask this to artists,
Okay.
but I ask it every time, and it's my favorite question. So, aside from like your writing and editing skills, what is some skill that you have that has made you, like, has helped you a lot? Like the next most helpful skill that you've used that's not your main.
It's a good question.
I know. Think about that for a sec.
Besides just, outside of writing, I think I have, I don't want to sound like cocky, but I think I have a good ability of just forming connections with people, which has been really good with connecting with PR people, trying to get like music early and stuff like that. So I think that's really helped boost our readership in terms of news. So that's kind of the only thing I can think of right now, and that's what I'm going to go with.
Hey, man, that's super
Great
important.
answer.
The networking is actually a really common, and the whole thing here at Drivewire is we believe that an artist doesn't have, like, the whole starving artist thing doesn't have to exist anymore. There's too many outlets, man. There's TikTok and social media, and there's so many social medias that I can't name them all in one sentence.
I know, yeah.
And there's too much outreach. Like, there's literally too much.
And it's a lot of free outreach
And if you want attention and you have talent, what now? And so there's all these skills that come to the surface then, where you realize if you've only been playing strings on wood, as I call it, like you lift your head and you're like, shit, I have a lot of other skill. Like, I need to find management skills, and I need to find promotional skills, and I need to find marketing skills, and I need to find CAP's networking skills.
Right.
Like, that's all really important. So it's a good answer, man. I love that. Okay, now I'm officially out of questions. Buddy, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciated your insights today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was good to talk to you.
I took notes on you, man.
Awesome. Well, send them along if you don't mind.
All right,
I like to
all right.
remember
Hey,
the
once-
things that I said, you know?
Once this COVID thing wraps up and we get the school back open, man, we'd love to have you in the studio. We get the actual in-person interview. We'll get you in the school, get you in the hot seat, and we'll shake hands, get a picture taken.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
That sounds
Love it,
really
brother.
good, man. Good luck with your studies and everything, editing at Scene Daddy, man.
Thanks, man. You guys take care.
What's up, brother?
Have a good one, brother.